Of 400 college students, 120 are enrolled in math, 220 are enrolled in English, and 55 are enrolled in both. So before you even answer the parts of the questions on all of these, you have to draw a Venn diagram. So that's why I gave you the extra piece of paper. So then all 7 questions, step 1, no matter what the questions ask, step 1 is to draw the Venn diagram. So you're going to draw your rectangle anytime you're drawing a Venn diagram, and then you're going to draw your 2 circles, and then label them. Make sure they're always labeled. So in this case, it would be math and English.
I have an extra piece of paper, I think.
So you have math and English, and then when you go through the math and English in a Venn diagram, you're always going to start in the middle. So in this one, it says 400 college students, 120 are enrolled in math, 220 are enrolled in English, 55 are enrolled in both. So I'm going to put 55 in the middle. Does that mean that's the ones that are enrolled in both math and English where it overlaps? Then I see that 120 are enrolled in math. So the common mistake there is that people just write 120 right here, but you don't want to write 120. You want the whole math circle to be 120 that are enrolled in math. So you're going to do 120 minus 55 because you've already got 55 students that are in math and English. So to get the total number of students enrolled in math, you want to subtract that from 120. Okay? So then you're going to get 65. So there's 65 students in just math right there. That means if you look at just the math circle, it is adding up to 120. So you now see 120 students enrolled in math. It says 220 are enrolled in English, so you want to follow the same process. You already have the 55 students that are in English because they're also in math. So you want to find how many are just in English. So 220 minus 55 gives me 165. So at this point, I found 3 things. I found the students who are in just math, the students who are in math and English, and the students who are in just English. So I want to add those 3 together. So I want to add 165 plus 65 plus 55. If I add all 3 of those together, I'm going to get 285. Okay? And I know from the problem that there are 400 college students. So 285 of them are in the Venn diagram, and there's 400. So I want to subtract that from 400, and that gives me 115. And that's what you'll write in the bottom right corner. You'll write the amount that's left. Okay. So now, if you add up all 4 numbers, the way you know you're finished with the Venn diagram, you add up all 4 numbers, they should add up to 400, and they do. The math circle should add up to 120. The English circle should add up to 220. 55 is in the middle. Anytime you're making a Venn diagram, you want to start in the middle and work your way to the outside. Then you can answer some of the questions. So you have to be careful on the questions that you're specific and that you write the fraction and the decimal. So the student is enrolled in mathematics. So there are 120 out of 400 that are enrolled in mathematics. And so you want to write that decimal. And that is what? 0.3. Okay? So 30% basically. 0.3 would be fine. The student is enrolled in, now this you have to be careful with. The student is enrolled in mathematics or English. Remember the probability of A or B. That is the probability. So there's 2 ways of doing this. That's the probability of A, so 120, plus the probability of B, 220, minus the probability of both. That's one way of doing it. And you would get 120 plus 220 is 340. Minus 55 is 285. Or you just look at your Venn diagram, and if it's math or English, you're just going to add up all of these. So when it says they're enrolled in math or English, they could be enrolled in both. Or they could just be in English, or they could just be in math. It's anything in the circle. So that's 285 out of 400. So that is 0. What?
0.7125.
Okay. Now, C says the student is enrolled in either math or English, but not both. So we do not want people that aren't in either. So we don't want this 115. We also don't want people that are in both. So we want the ones that are enrolled in either math or English, but not both. So we're going to get rid of the both. So that'll be 165 plus 65. So that would give us 230 out of 400. If you look at that fraction compared to this one, you've gotten rid of both in this case because that's what they say.
Do we have to make the diagram for these problems?
Yes, you absolutely have to make the diagram for every problem. So 230 divided by 400 gives me what?
0.575.
575. So those are the steps. So in every problem, you are first, before you even go to A, B, C, D, or whatever they're asking, you're going to draw and label the Venn diagram with the correct numbers. Then you're going to go in and answer the parts of the question. So at the end, you will have 7 Venn diagrams completely done and labeled, and then all the questions answered. Again, in some Venn diagrams, like starting with number 4, it may just have the probabilities. You're still going to approach that the same way. You're just going to have the probabilities instead of the numbers. And like these numbers for math and English had to add up to 400, the probabilities will have to all add up to 1. So don't forget the part in the bottom right. So if you finished your Venn diagram, you add up all your probabilities. If they don't add up to 1, you've got to find the part that's not in either circle, the part that's in the bottom right, that's neither. So in like case of number 4, you would have to find the part that neither the husband or the wife is employed. That would be in the bottom right corner of your Venn diagram. All right. And then you'll submit that for today, and that'll be the end of this week.